Welcome to another episode of The Inquisitive Analyst. I'm your host, Marcus Utikang. It's the show where we chat about business analysis and project management issues and the challenges and triumphs within those fields. It's inspiring, it's informative, and of course, most of all, it's very much inquisitive. My guest today is a business analyst, author, trainer, conference speaker, and consultant. He's also co-founder, COO, and program leader of AdaptiveUS.com. He was, at one time, the world's first business analyst to hold 6 IIBA certifications. Please help me welcome to today's show, joining us from Newark, Delaware, LN Mishra. Welcome, LN.
Thank you, Marcus, for inviting me to your show. I'm glad to be here. And I think just to kind of let you know, I still hold this first position in IIBA certifications. I don't think so far anybody else has gone and done it. I also hold another second world record, which is to mentor more than 1,000 business analysts to get certified as business analysts from IIBA. That's also another world record.
Nice. That is an ultimate accomplishment. Fantastic, and congratulations. Let's hope you can hold those 2 awards quite well for a long time to come.
I think so.
Okay. So let's start off. I have a few questions like I do with all my guests. So let's begin. And one thing that interests me is how everyone gets in the field, right? So I like to ask this as the first question, because everyone's story is a bit different. So how did you get started in the business analysis field?
Okay, Marcus, it's actually a very interesting story. I did not intend to be a business analyst. In fact, when I started my career as a telecom engineer, I used to have few friends who used to work in the software field, the software division of the company, and I was in the hardware division. And I used to really kind of pity my friends, those who worked in the software field, saying that all throughout the day, you're sitting in front of your computer, look at me, I go to the field, I install systems, and what kind of boring life you have. That's how I registered myself on getting into the software field. I kind of continued in hardware field. Then I did my post-graduation in management, and I was assigned to a client by my company called PricewaterhouseCoopers, which was a consulting firm, which is still a very large consulting firm. So in that client place, I observed something very peculiar. I observed that we had about 10 categories of customers. Some 2-3 categories we used to do very well in terms of revenue realization, but about 5-6 of them we were not doing well. So I did a root cause analysis without knowing that that's how it is called a root cause analysis. And I figured out that the divisions which were doing well, their processes were automated, whereas divisions which were not doing well, their processes were manual. Mm-hmm. And that is what inclined me to make a change to the client processes. So I figured out that there was a developer who knew Fox Pro, a programming language which is of past generation. I went to this developer and I asked him, can you help me automate these processes? He said, of course I can, but you have to tell me the rules because I'm just a developer. I do not know the rules. I said, fine, I will study the rules and I will let you know. So I sat with him for about 3 months and we actually developed the program to automate the work of few divisions. By doing that, we improved the company revenue by close to 40%. And that is when it hit me very hard that software is really powerful. And this is something which can change fortune of companies. And that is when I decided to become a full-time business analyst. So I joined a large IT services firm. I consulted few clients on business analysis. And then at a later point in time, maybe about 10 years into my corporate career, I said, okay, let me try my hands at being an independent trainer, consultant, mentor kind of a role. And that's when we started AdaptiveUS.
Nice, very nice. I like that. Quite interesting story. So you wrote a book called Top 50 BA Techniques and Examples. What are some great business analysis techniques that we BAs should hold near and dear to us?
True. In fact, I am in the process of compiling close to 200 techniques which business analysts can use, because The 50 number, I took it from BA-BOK, which is also the 50 number exactly there. But then I realized that there are many, many techniques which are available to us to use. But among the techniques, if I look at my personal favorites, some of the techniques I have used extensively are document analysis. It's a technique which many people don't give that much weight, but it's an amazing technique because by going through your product documentation, your competitors' product documentation, you can actually get a lot of insights into what stakeholders may be looking for. The second one I love is process modeling. I am simply a fanatic about process modeling and process improvement and process analysis. The third one is something that I kind of learned from a client, and it's something called extended data dictionary. Again, that's an amazing technique which extends what BA-BOK says is data dictionary. And these three techniques have really worked wonders for me.
Fantastic. Excellent. You wrote a book, a best-selling CBAP preparation book called Mastering CBAP. So what are some key items that business analysts can be aware of when preparing for the ECBA or the CCBA or the CBAP certifications?
Yeah, two things. I think a lot of people try to buy heart BA-BOK, which is a completely wrong approach to take the test. And unfortunately, some people advise them in that direction. I don't know how. BA-BOK is a very large document. And the intent is not to buy heart the book for the exam. The intent is to understand the guiding principles or themes that BA-BOK is trying to tell us. Like few things, like one, stakeholders are of paramount importance. We always look for value. So few things which you have to understand what BA-BOK is trying to tell you. And unfortunately, BA-BOK being a very large document, people often kind of lose a bit of interest by the time they cover 440 pages. So in this particular book that I co-authored with my colleagues, we tried to make BA-BOK as simple as possible. So we kind of eliminated a lot of words which are not required to get a sense of BA-BOK. So that's why we also sometimes call it as essential BA-BOK. That means the key elements of BA-BOK, which needs to be understood. And we have removed anything that does not come in the exam, because the exam does not have every part of BA-BOK. So that's something we have removed. We have made it very tabular. So that's how the content is much less compared to the original BA-BOK, which is what makes it a lot easier for students to refer and pass the exam.
Or consumable. So this agile environment, everyone's talking about agile. Agile. It's almost like the world can't be happy unless they have agile. Where do you see the business analyst in the agile environment?
That's actually a very interesting question. I also posed this to the Agile Foundation, and some of them came back and said, when it is said development team, it's a generic term that Scrum and Agile methods use. What it tries to say is that as a team, you are capable of developing the solution that your stakeholders are looking for. The team composition is left to the organization to decide. They neither say, do you have programmers only, testers only, business analysts? No, but they are looking for a cohesive team which can get work done. And it's my firm belief that you need a specialist BA in an agile team, one who would make sure that every aspect of the requirement is looked into, the requirements are of high quality, and is someone who is very comfortable in dealing with stakeholders, because we cannot expect developers to become domain experts or product experts very soon. That's not their job. Their job is to get the technical implementation done. So I strongly believe, and we as an organization, we follow agile principles quite well. We have our releases, we have our sprints, we have our daily stand-ups, and we do have business analysts along with developers and testers in the team. I believe the team has to be a small team, but every agile team should have at least a 50% BA. May not be 100% BA if it's a tiny team, But if you have about 10 developers, you ideally should have a business analyst.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. Sometimes the agile world says, "Oh, we don't need the BAs, or we're going to relabel them." But I like your explanation. That works quite nicely. So what are
But
some?
again, at
Oh,
the
sorry.
same time, Marcus, I will tell you, as BAs as well, or any other role that we are playing in a team, we should be open to help our colleagues when there is a need. And we should not typecast ourselves saying that I am a BA, I cannot do anything else.
Yeah, no, that's
That
true.
that becomes a very dangerous statement to make.
Yeah, no, that's very much true. Yeah. Don't put up the barriers. Indeed.
True.
What are some challenges that faced by organizations that business analysts can really very much help to solve?
Two, I look at business analysts at two distinct levels, and which I believe enterprises also should recognize, and someday IIBA would recognize. One is an enterprise business analysis, which is a very tall order. And I believe every organization can benefit significantly from a strategic or enterprise business analysis model, which I believe IIBA is trying to come up with a framework. And they have already released a short paper, but I believe sometime in future it will probably become a full standard. So that's at one level when you're looking at business analysis as a practice which can guide the organization to look into the future. How are things changing in the marketplace? What the organization should be doing? That's a very, very important skill. At the project level, I believe organizations have been having business analysts, and the business analyst world has really improved because if I look back, when I started my career as a business analyst, the role called business analyst was hardly understood. Nobody talked about it. Today, organizations are very aware. Many organizations have started BACOEs, which indicates the fact that IIBA and the BA community have done a good job in making the value of business analysis known to the organization.
Yeah, actually, that's right. The business analysis center of excellence. I tend to hear a lot more about it these days than I did years ago,
True.
and just for this very reason, just to make it much more aware, right? Community
True.
organizations have become much more aware of it. So you've worked on large ERP projects, right? And as a business analyst, first of all, what was your contribution on some of these ERP projects? And then also, what are any lessons learned for BAs that are working on ERP projects?
True. I actually started with ERP as the foundation for my business analysis work. I got into custom development later. And I believe I learned a lot of good stuff about ERPs because they're very generic, very broad. There are a lot of good practices already built into the product, which is much available to the companies. So even today, whenever my clients come to me, the first question I ask is, would you get a product in the marketplace to fulfill your need? And even if you're able to fulfill 80-90% of your need, try doing that using a standard product than trying to develop everything in-house. Because in-house development is way expensive to maintain, upgrade. So ERPs are, in that sense, great products, but ERPs are also complex animals. It's not easy to understand ERP products. So any organization which is into ERP package implementation kind of thing, they should have people who can mentor junior business analysts to understand the product foundations very well. Because the ERPs have been designed to work from, say, 50 people company going up to 5 million people company, in a sense. Any number of people, any number of units in a company can use ERP products, like General Electric uses Oracle apps. So looking at that kind of a scale, complexity, it is hard for a new BA to learn about products or packages. Of course, they're becoming better and easier to understand nowadays compared to other days. Better trainings are also available. But I think investing some time, maybe 3 to 6 months, in learning a product thoroughly, that will make an ERP consultant very successful. So that's an initial investment you have to make.
Right. Yeah, no, that sounds quite good. What are some of the services that AdaptiveUS provides for business analysts? I see you guys on LinkedIn all the time. I see on the web, you guys are huge. So what exactly are some of the services that AdaptiveUS provides?
Okay. We primarily started as a training organization, and that has been very strong area for us. We train about minimum 2 to 3,000 business analysts every year. But recently, we also started, the original trainings were more on certification, but now we also have started skill building training, which goes beyond certification, like BA tools, BA practices. We also consult clients on business analysis work. We used to have kind of a contract model running for some time, but we found a little bit challenging. So we have kind of put on hold that practice. But we can help clients in defining their BA processes, measuring their BA processes, helping them implement tools on business analysis area, and of course, get their BA skilled as well.
Nice, very good. I saw on your LinkedIn profile that you were at one time a Scrum Master, right? And some BAs become Scrum Masters, some don't. And some people see the Scrum Master role as more of a project manager type of role. Is the Scrum Master role, is it a role that business analysts can easily transition into? And if so, what are some suggested paths that BAs can take to become a Scrum Master?
It depends on the person. I would see a business analyst naturally being inclined more towards a product owner role.
Yeah.
Because a product owner role leverages business analysis strengths very well. But Scrum Master is also an important organizational role which protects the team. And if you are a person who can manage stakeholders, conflicting demands very well, I would say Scrum Master is not a role that you should not aspire for. It depends. Like if you are a conflict management person, if you like managing multiple stakeholders, making sure that your team is productive, the team has the right tools, infrastructure in place. If these are the kind of actions that excite you, you would love Scrum Master role. And in general, my personal opinion about the Scrum Master role within the organizational frameworks is to make the person lot more authority, make the role with a lot more authority, which I feel many organizations haven't given that kind of authority for the Scrum Master to push back. So that's another very important criteria for a Scrum Master, that the person holds adequate weight in the organizational system when the person can clearly refuse to get something done when the pressures are coming from other stakeholders. And that's the role which we wanted in the framework, because somebody has to protect the team to perform well in a non-threatening environment. So any role is good. And I always personally feel, as a professional, if you have done multiple roles, it helps you to grow up in your corporate career. Even sometimes I would say work in pre-sales, possibly in sales for some time as well. Because when you have views from different stakeholder groups, it's so much enriching. And when you are looking at a CIO, CXO, CTO, CEO, whatever roles you call, the C-suite roles, if you have done multiple things, it's always a plus point.
So if I were looking, if I were, say, a new BA or someone looking to get into the BA world, any suggested steps that new up and coming BAs should take to become, to gravitate to that role, to become a better BA?
Yeah, I think one of the things is, do study a couple of good books on business analysis very well. Dr. Carl Wigger writes very well. Laura Brandenburg writes very well. We do have a very elementary book on starting your career as an IT business analyst. Secondly, I would suggest do go for a certification, something like ECBA, because organizations look for people who are committed to the profession. So when you are getting yourself certified, you're showing your willingness to invest your time, effort to get yourself certified. Then also look for programs which help you not only in the theoretical aspect of business analysis, but practical aspects. Like we launched a program called Awesome BA about a quarter back, and that not only provides elementary skills, it also gives you a project experience which you can pilot your skills and all that. And that also comes with $1,000 performance guarantee. That means at Adaptive, we stand by you in case your employer finds your skills to be lacking in the areas that we have trained you. We will pay $1,000 to the employer. So when your certificate goes with a money guarantee, the chance that you will be called for an interview would be much higher.
I like that. So if anyone in the audience wants to get in touch with you, how can they do so?
The best way to reach out to me is on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, and you can find me on LinkedIn by looking for LN Mishra. That's my name. Or you can also write to me at LN, just 2 letters, L for London, N for Nancy, @AdaptiveUS.com.
Nice, very nice. Well, thank you, Ellen, for coming on the show. I think that a lot of business analysts or even up and coming business analysts will be able to take away a lot of very valuable information from what you've given us today.
Thank you so much, Marcus, for having me on the show. And I hope we will get another opportunity to meet in person. Hopefully the COVID goes away very soon. Things are getting stabilized. In some parts of the world, it's still quite bad. But I'm hoping another 6 months to 8 months time, we would have BBC again. I would love to join and hope to see you there as well.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully I can make it, no doubt. Well, until then, you're very welcome. And until then, have yourself a very, very great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Stay safe.
Thank you. Bye.